Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's me here, and as ever, I've got another exciting episode of Premier League previews for you. So, as usual, it's going to be a quick-fire round of taking a look at all of the opening weekend fixtures, but today, we've start with what is probably the pick of the bunch, the clash between Manchester United and Arsenal at Old Trafford. Now, before we get into the specifics of this match, though, if you want to be in with the chance of winning a fantastic prize, then make sure to check out the details in the description. Or just scan the QR code on screen because the competition closes soon. And if you don't remember, there's still time to catch last week's game against Wolves. You might be surprised at how close it was. Okay, let's get into it. First up, we'll take a quick look at the form of each team before assessing their best route to victory. So, Man United actually started their Premier League campaign with a disappointing 1-1 draw away to Wolves. They did, however, bounce back in midweek by beating Lens in the Europa League playoff round first leg courtesy of a late Bruno Fernandes penalty. Their overall preseason form had been decent, though, picking up wins against Leeds and rivals Liverpool, as well as drawing with the likes of Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund. Arsenal, on the other hand, began their league campaign with a comfortable 2-0 win at home to Nottingham Forest, thanks to goals from Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka. They too had mixed results during preseason, though losing to their own rivals in Chelsea, drawing with Barcelona and beating the MLS All-Stars in the USA. So both teams head into this match looking for a quick reaction after taking 4 points from their opening games. But who will come out on top? Well, as always, let's take a closer look at the stats to find out. First up, we'll assess each team's attacking threat using average goals per game, expected goals, and shots on target percentage, as these stats give us an indication of how prolific and efficient each team is in front of goal. So Man United boasts a decent goals per game ratio based on last season's data and have improved this figure even further during preseason. They also recorded the second highest XG total in the division, and were one of only 2 teams to average more than 5 shots on target per game. Arsenal, on the other hand, averaged fewer goals per game and a lower XG figure, but still boasted one of the better shots on target percentages in the Premier League last season. What these stats tell us is that United were more ruthless in front of goal last term and have continued in this vein during preseason. But as we saw last weekend, chances to Utd always mean goals, and they may need to improve their conversion rate if they want to mount a serious title challenge this season. Next up, we'll look at each team's defensive capabilities by analyzing their goals conceded per game, expected goals against, and tackles plus interceptions per game figures. This will give us an idea of how solid and aggressive each team is when defending their own goal. So, Man United conceded the 4th highest number of goals per game last season and only kept 11 clean sheets across the entire campaign. They did at least improve their expected goals against figure in tackles and interceptions per game, but this suggests that they relied heavily on regaining possession rather than dealing with opposition attacks cleanly. Arsenal, on the other hand, conceded fewer goals per game than United and kept 2 more clean sheets. Their expected goals against figure was marginally higher, but they also made more tackles and interceptions, suggesting that they were more effective at stopping opposition attacks. Now, to determine each team's best route to victory, we'll examine how each team ranks for goals scored and conceded in the opening 15 minutes and 30 minutes of each game. As we saw last week, early goals proved decisive for both teams, and this information could help us predict how this match may unfold. So United actually ranked 1st and 2nd for goals scored in the first 15 minutes and 30 minutes respectively, suggesting that they have the potential to get off to a quick start. But interestingly, they also concede the joint most goals in the first 30 minutes. So perhaps they need to focus on starting the match brightly, while also being wary of conceding early themselves. Arsenal, on the other hand, ranked 5th and 6th for goals scored in the opening 15 and 30 minutes, respectively, suggesting that they may need to be patient initially. Meanwhile, they also concede few goals in the opening 15 minutes, ranking 4th, but they allow more goals in the first 30 minutes, ranking 8th. This information tells us that United are capable of scoring quickly and getting the crowd behind them, but their defense may be susceptible to early pressure. And although Arsenal aren't as potent in the opening stages, they are more solid in the first 15 minutes. Therefore, the early stages of the game will be vital, and whichever team can absorb the other early pressure and hit the opponent on the counterattack first may have the advantage. Finally, we assess the head-to-head record of each team as recent history. Could all clues about how each team approaches this match? So United and Arsenal have met 243 times in the league, with United winning 99, Arsenal 89, and 45 games ending in a draw. United are unbeaten in their last 4 home matches against Arsenal, including 3 wins and a draw, netting at least 2 goals in each game. In fact, the last time Arsenal won at Old Trafford was back in 2020. So, with the head-to-head record so finely balanced and both teams needing a strong start to their campaigns, this is set to be a tightly contested affair. As you can see, both teams are capable of hurting each other on the counterattack, and it will be interesting to see how each manager sets up to negate this threat. In terms of team news, United will be without the suspended Luke Shaw and the injured Lisandro Martinez and Nusair Mazraoui, while Arsenal are boosted by the availability of their new signings. Takedo Tomiyasu, Jurriën Timber, and Kai Havertz are all doubts. As for tactics, expect Man United to adopt a 4-2-3-1 formation, allowing them to dominate possession and control the tempo of the game. Expect Bruno Fernandes to pull the strings in midfield and be the creative hub of the team. Manchester United's attacking threat is likely to come primarily down the right flank, with Antony and Marcus Rashford combining pace and trickery. Arsenal, on the other hand, are expected to line up in a 4-3-3 formation and utilize a high-pressing style to disrupt United's build-up play and force mistakes. The wide areas are likely to be a point of focus, with Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard tasked with stretching United's defense and creating overloads. Overall, this promises to be a highly entertaining encounter, with both teams capable of playing attacking football and looking to assert dominance in the early stages. The outcome may hinge on which team can effectively neutralize the opposition's counter-attacking threat and dictate the tempo of the match. So who do you think will come out on top in this one? Will Manchester United continue their strong form against Arsenal, or will the Gunners finally claim a victory at Old Trafford? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, we'll take a quick look at the other matches taking place on Sunday. So, newly promoted Sheffield United hosts a struggling Tottenham Hotspur side who drew their opener against Brentford and were knocked out of the EFL Cup by lower league opposition in midweek. Spurs are likely to prevail here, but expect a tough test from the Blades, who impressed in their opening to 2-3 defeat at home to Crystal Palace. Another newly promoted side, Luton Town, face a tricky away trip to West Ham. Despite losing their opener at home to Brighton, Luton showed some positive signs and will be looking to cause an upset here. However, West Ham, who drew 3-3 at Bournemouth in their opening match, will be the favorites to claim all 3 points. Aston Villa, meanwhile, host Everton in a relegation 6-pointer. Both teams suffered heavy defeats in their opening fixtures, with Villa losing 5-1 at Newcastle and Everton going down 4-2 to fierce rivals Liverpool, with both teams desperate for a reaction. This is likely to be a tight contest, with Ali Watkins and Dominic Calvert-Lewin likely to be key. Burnley take on Manchester City at Turf Moor. Vincent Kompany's men were unfortunate to lose their opener 3-2 at home to Newcastle, despite dominating large parts of the game. Pep Guardiola's side, who won their opener 3-0 against newly promoted Sheffield United, will be the favorites here, but expect Burnley to put up a strong fight. Finally, Brighton and Hove Albion travel to Fulham in what looks to be the pick of the Sunday fixtures. Roberto De Zerbi's men got their campaign off to a perfect start with a 4-1 victory over Luton Town, thanks in part to 2 goals from João Pedro. Fulham, who drew 3-3 with West Ham in their opener, will prove to be a tough test, but Brighton, who reached the FA Cup semi-finals last season, will be quietly confident of another positive result. So there you have it, folks. All the info ULL need to navigate watertight analysis for another round of fixtures in the Premier League. Keep an eye on the channel for more updates throughout the season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.